Broadcasting from Hollywood, California, it's Grant's Rants, Hollywood Talk.
Lindsay gets engaged. We dish the current state of the Real Housewives. Charlie Sheen is short on money. Bette Midler continues to shade those Kardashian people. And we share what television we are loving and leaving with this jam-packed show now. Let the ranting begin. It is a TV panel episode number 25. And the panel is here to talk everything from hot topics, of course, the rants, and TV. And if you are a fan of TV, you are in the right place because there's a lot of knowledge in this room. A lot of knowledge, some useless knowledge about reality TV, and some inside scoop. So let's get started from episode number 2, number 9, and number 15. Justin Heath is here for another panel.
Hi, I am so excited to be here. It's been a while.
Yes, welcome back. And from episode 1 and episode 8, Christy Olson.
Yeah, am I the OG?
The OG?
The OG of Rants.
Yes.
I love it.
And Justin and Christy did the fall TV panel, so I think it's wonderful that you're back.
Yeah.
And for episode number 19, Jessica Lipman is here.
Hey, girl.
Let's get started on this panel with a congratulations to Lindsay Lohan for finding love, for getting a huge emerald ring in her engagement. Congratulations, Lindsay. I hope it lasts a little longer than your parents' marriage did.
Well, you know what, though? I'm more excited. I'm more excited about her parents on Family Therapy than I am about her getting engaged. I really don't care. The ring is beautiful. I mean, if I could marry some, like, Russian... What is he, heir to like billions?
Yeah,
Sure.
Eagle.
Why not? Like, I'm not mad at her for it. I just don't care.
I don't think she'll ever make it down the aisle with this guy. Or anyone, maybe, for that matter.
Didn't they meet like a month ago?
They've been together for 5 months, and this is the guy that she accused of domestic violence in January. Remember, she posted an Instagram photo of her leg all bloody, being like, never let a man hit you, this and that. Like, I stand against domestic violence, and yeah.
But
then she deleted it, and now
I'm right.
I mean, it's an emerald, so.
I do think, though, that the Lohans being on Family Therapy is like, that's reality TV gold. Like, that is why I'm in the industry, is because those are the good stories, right?
Yes, that, and the fact that it's like New York and Sister Patterson, now they're like intertwined.
My Sister Patterson is insane.
Yes.
She is. I only watched the first 2 episodes of Family Therapy, but even in the first episode, the way she just came in there, I don't know, she's a very...
She's crazier than New York.
Yeah, she is.
And I didn't think anyone could top New York.
Agreed. Her mom's like the devil, but she's a saint or something. Whatever the fuck she is, she's none.
It's 2 worlds colliding for me because I love the Lohans and I love, of course, New York. And so you've got like New York with her arm around Dina, and it's like, this is like perfect for me. Like, this is my show. But I do kind of feel like the show is just kind of played out, in my opinion, and that I'm not seeing really any therapy. I'm seeing a lot of uncomfortable conversations and the feuds and the people swearing at each other, but I'm not really seeing really a lot of work done.
It's also just an old, stale model. Like, Family Therapy has been done so many different ways. Like, they had Exile on Wii. And it was the same. It did horribly, but it's the same format. You sit on a couch, you replay video clips of how you feel. Like, there's nothing really active in these shows, and that's why they're so boring. Beyond the fact that they've been on for 20 years. Yeah. So, and then they had the mother-daughter experiment,
Celebrity Edition. Yeah, and it's doing very poorly.
And it's the exact same thing. It's
and
like,
Fix My Mom on Oxygen.
There's
just so many iterations of this same show.
Like, I don't really turn to television to watch people fix their relationships. Like, I don't know. That's not really... That's sad that I don't do that, but...
Well, I mean, it's like some of these relationships are based in severe domestic abuse.
Right.
And it's like, well, is this really entertainment that this woman is scared because her ex-husband who beat her is in the room and she's nervous for her life? Like, is that entertainment?
Well, those things have, like... Depending on the show, tend to reveal themselves. Like, it's not like an upfront, known about issue that they have. On something like Family Therapy, though, I mean, I don't know. Is it entertainment? It is, but it's not wholesome. It's not ethical. But I don't know if there are any ethics in TV.
Yeah. No.
Ooh, a new debate rising.
Yes.
If there were ethics, we wouldn't have paychecks.
Well,
Amen.
Michael and Dina are just so on the opposite sides of this show, yet after the announcement of the engagement was made, they were at a Duran Duran concert together with Lindsay and the new fiancé, and they were staying pretty close together. Never thought I'd see Michael and Dina going out on the town together. That caught my attention.
That's a paparazzi setup, and he made 10% off that. Michael did, and I'm sure Dina did too.
And hello,
Lindsay
they
probably got 25%.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I don't think any of this is real. I don't think it's a real engagement. I think it's like maybe to get her name in the headlines a little bit. Maybe she's got some projects coming up, and they're like, how can we get her known? I mean, this guy, by the way, is not a billionaire. I was reading on like page 6 that he's going to inherit a few million, which obviously is pretty great, but like she could do better. And he's 4,000 followers on Instagram, which to me is like the jackpot. But for him, I mean, he's real. I don't really think that it's a life partner for her. I also don't think she's capable of having one. So I just think it's sort of for the tabloids.
It's interesting that you feel that way because her camp is still denying the fact that they're engaged, but then friends are. So it's like, to me, it does make it's all the ingredients just to make a loud story.
She put a picture of herself wearing a ring on a finger, and everyone's like, OMG, she's engaged. But if her
that's
team,
what she does, though. You know, she wants that attention.
I mean, yeah, we should never take what Lindsay says or does seriously.
I just feel really bad for whoever the wedding planner is. If we talk about that OWN documentary every time we discuss Lindsay, that was groundbreaking in my opinion.
That was fantastic television. I cried, I laughed, I felt things. It was a very surreal experience.
I think I'm going to spend the rest of my day when I go home and watch back the Lindsay show.
You can binge it. They I don't know how they rolled it out, but it was
It was so good, but I mean, working with her in general is a nightmare. And then trying to make solidified plans with people in different countries and parents that are a mess.
I can just imagine it as a production nightmare. Like,
yeah. Well, they all but showed it. Yeah, I mean, they showed the EP like sitting on her step, just like watching all this money go out the window, but not getting any footage.
She won't let us in today.
Yeah, a total mess. From one mess to the next, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Let's give our final impressions. We're 20 weeks in. We're approaching the reunion when we record this show. And Christy and I have discussed this show at length.
Yes.
You can hear all of our in-depth thoughts through all 20 episodes on AfterBuzz TV. But recent news in TMZ, coming out of TMZ, is that Lisa Vanderpump and Mohammed are not speaking. Of course, we heard this come out of Yolanda's mouth on What's Happens Live. She said it's been 8 months since they've spoken at this point. But TMZ says that Lisa Vanderpump there's a problem with filming, I guess, and I don't know, what can I say here? TMZ says that Lisa Vanderpump asked Mohammed while they were filming about the children's Lyme disease numerous times. And he agreed to appear on the show, but now there's no chance of them renewing their friendship. I never saw this footage. I never saw Mohammed on this current season. I don't believe this.
I don't think they were implying that she asked him. They were talking about the scene on the show where she brought
at the
it
dinner
up.
where she was.
I read it the way you read it, Grant.
I read it the way you did, but I interpreted because if they had footage,
I just think it's misreporting.
I was going to say it's written by someone who does not know any of the housewives and doesn't freaking care,
right.
And
that's kind of fishy.
This is all I care about, so I don't appreciate the mismanagement of facts.
Yeah. Especially from TMZ.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Well, okay, let's just get into final thoughts because I have a lot to say. My immediate thought is just that 20 episodes is too much. For a show like this, like, cap it at 12, maybe 14 if you're having, like, a home run season. Yeah. But, like, 20 weeks is just too long to get people so invested. And on this particular season, they talked about one thing that happened in episode 3 for the subsequent 17 episodes. And when it wasn't about this Munchausen comment, it was Lisa Rinna realizing that that's all the show was. And so she tried to lash out at Yolanda because maybe there was a storyline there. And I honestly feel like Lisa Rinna was trying to make a good show and kind of like effed herself in the process, but I think she's a team player. I think that's what Jill Zarin used to do on New York. And I don't know, the season was like, it was good, it was entertaining, it had its moments, but in the end, it was a whole bunch of nothing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, really nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say everything I feel, but it's not gonna be everything I feel because I feel so much.
I have more to say.
One thing I'm gonna say is Eileen. I don't know how to invest in her character, but those bangs are hideous. Lisa Rinna, like such a bad person, however, such great television, and like yes, they carried this plot line along for 17 extra episodes. But I watched every single minute of it. At times I checked out. I did other things. I didn't need to be like, eyes glued to the television. It wasn't so captivating. But at the same time, there was a lot of growth. Like I think there were moments of regret for each of them. There were moments where one person had to... It was very adult, some of the things they had to do. Like
I agree, it was complex.
Yolanda had to switch alliances a lot of times. And she had to question who are her friends, who aren't her friends. She had to buddy up with people. She had to sit down and have mature, awkward conversations amidst her Lyme disease. I think that there was a lot of movement within the group. Like the fact that people are turning on Lisa Vanderpump, that would be the first time in forever. She's in the middle of the group holding whatever the hell they're holding. And Diamond. So it's very interesting for Lisa to be kind of on the outskirts. I think it's great that Kyle is like in a powerful position where she's like deciding her own friendships for herself. She's not letting other people bulldoze her. She's in a good place with Kim. I don't know. I think that on a lot of fronts it was a dull season, but at the same time, it carried on and it was emotional. And I do wish, this is really what I'll say, I wish that they would have talked about Yolanda's divorce more. I know that they can only work with what Yolanda's willing to give. I know that she's private. I know that she doesn't want to open up, but her job right now is literally being a housewife. And if you're not stirring up shit, if you're not bringing hot gossip to the table, like what's the point of you being on the cast? Because there's so many other women, not including Catherine, who should not be on the show because what even? But I don't know.
I warmed up to her though. I was really tough on her, and then I did realize along the way that she is harmless.
Yeah.
But I thought that she was just like, I was so angry that she was on, because I was like, who is this? She's
she came
messy.
on
She's
so
gross.
abruptly and was just like, "Hey, I'm a housewife," and it was just a little like, inch your way in. Like, don't get so comfortable.
Yeah. Within the first 3 episodes, she tried to pull every housewife stunt, to try to get
and
gifts made
my
of her.
final thought is Erica Girardi, whatever. She is everything and more, and I think that they should keep her around for the next 3 to 4 seasons at least.
I think honestly that the only reason I think Yolanda might stick around if she doesn't decide to leave,
or if Bravo doesn't say you're really boring and not nice to look at
is
anymore.
because Erica will say if Yolanda's not on it, I'm not on it. That's the only thing. And I think that Bravo could totally rebrand this show around Erica Jane. They could totally give it a whole second life. In the same way that New York got a whole second life when they axed 60% of that cast. Right. So I really, really think that there's an opportunity there and they don't want to pass it up.
Christy, your turn.
Well, I kind of wish that Erica had her own show. I'm like, let's give this girl a spinoff.
Oh, she has a good idea.
I think she should get a Watch What Happens, look at my boobs. Sure.
Just 30 minutes of Erica Jane hair and boobs.
I would do it. So.
Well, but I'm just surprised to hear you guys. I thought that you would be a little bit harder on Lisa Rinna. We've kind of really just been tired with her picking and everything all the time. And like we said, have fun in Dubai. And she just really wanted to bring up the conversation over and over.
She ruined her own good time.
Yeah, she did.
But she wants to. She has said this is her first stable job. This is her first time renewing a contract for a season. So she's like, what can I do to get myself on the show for a prolonged period of time? What can I do to make it known that I'm here to stay? So I think that she's trying to make her mark, and she definitely effed it up. I don't think a lot of people appreciate just how desperate she is to get camera time. But I think if she chilled a little bit and she used this season to reflect on her actions, maybe she'll, I think Kyle has changed so much. I used to hate Kyle, and now I'm like, okay, Kyle, you have flaws. I can appreciate your idiosyncrasies. I kind of feel like Lisa Rinna can do that too. But she has to tread lightly.
And they get humbled. I think by watching themselves back. And then some of them are delusional and get built up.
Except for Lisa Vanderpump. There's not a humble bone in that woman's body. No. You can't stand her.
No, that's how I feel about Kyle.
But the thing
I think she's detestable, and I think she's gotten worse over the seasons.
Really?
Yeah, just the fact that the incredible wealth that her family continues to accumulate. Like, her and Mauricio were not that wealthy when the show first started. And now his real estate company has taken off so much. Yeah, it's like just all the, oh, woe is me, but I'm getting on my yacht and my plane. It's just like, I don't care. I can do without her.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I still like what Kyle brings to the show. I think she's like the definition of a real housewife in some ways. And Lisa Rinna, like, she might be doing a whole lot of awful things, but there's something about her that I like. I like her, like,
very
her
aware. She's very
spunkiness.
self-aware. She closed.
She reminds me of Bethany.
Yes.
Sharp-tongued and doesn't really care.
She closed the finale by saying, "I've done a lot of stupid shit, and I get myself into trouble. And you can hate it or you can love it. And like, I have a big personality. I say things that are not always PG or PG-13 or even R. So I can appreciate what she has to say and do, but I do agree, like, control yourself. You know, maybe try to be a little less reprehensible.
Right.
Maybe think before you speak. I don't know.
Yeah. I like that she acknowledged that she's, an F up. I kind of like, all right, I can get on board with you if you see yourself for who you are and you're looking at your own personality and being like, ooh, versus celebrating ignorance, over and over and over.
That's true.
They need Kim back.
No.
If they're gonna keep Kyle, either get rid of Kyle or bring Kim back.
Bring on her sister. Bring on the other sister.
Kathy, we've been dying for that for years.
Well, let's take a look at some new ladies real quick. The Real Housewives of Dallas. Our first impressions. What do you think? Is this show necessary? Have you been waiting for it?
Absolutely unnecessary, this one. I don't know where they got these ladies, but I know everyone on social media was ticked off, like everyone from Texas saying, these women do not represent us. I thought that Stephanie and Brandy were so far beyond crass, like all the stuff, like the farting and all that stuff. It's like, that is not Real Housewives to me. What else is not Real Housewives is someone who's not incredibly wealthy. Like, that is what this show is. And Leanne admittedly is like, I don't live in this lifestyle and this isn't me. It just seems like, totally unnecessary.
I don't know. I think those things make it a little bit more dynamic. For example, Bethany started the show not incredibly wealthy and has made herself such.
That was 8 years ago.
True,
6 years
totally
ago.
true. But I think Leanne is an interesting enough character, and she's a lot of woman, and I think that she brings the lack of wealth. Like, it evens out with her personality. But
that's not what people tune into. I totally agree with you, Christy. No one turns into Bravo to be like, let's see how middle America lives. Like, that's not why of all networks, that's not where we're going.
But it's not about let's see how middle America lives. It's about these women and the charity.
She's not even a housewife.
Leanne?
Yeah.
She's just like lives with her boyfriend or something, right?
Isn't she?
A lot of women aren't really married, but...
I know, but she doesn't even live. I mean, I guess it's like Taylor originally on the Housewives of or Beverly Hills. Like, she was going through a divorce, but for Leanne to not come from wealth, live in wealth, appreciate what comes with the wealth. She's there. She's on the side. She's like that fish that swims along the shark. Like the krill is that what they call it. That's what she is to me. She's sort of there to be like, we're kind of. The journey with Housewives is like, let's see the fabulous things they do, vacations they take, property they own. With Leanne, it's like, okay, we're trying to get on the inside, like, we're trying to suck up to these people. We love charity, like, that's our way in. And I want to see the exclusivity firsthand. I don't want to, like, have to hustle with a castmate to get in the inner circle. Right. Like, that's not why I tune into Housewives of all shows or Bravo of all channels.
I think to win the first season, I think to the beginning of Beverly Hills Housewives when we went from like Lisa Vanderpump's house and then we went across the street to Adrian's house and it was like, wow, double wows of these lifestyles. However, and that's why I do watch the shows, but however, I do like a hustler a little bit though. I like that Leanne's scrappy and wants to get into it.
I totally like the cat. It's just, originally this was not supposed to be a Housewives.
That's what I want to say. This show was supposed to be Ladies of Dallas and it was another rebrand, and those just don't have a great track record like Miami, and then Potomac is arguably successful.
Arguably, it's got 2.1 million viewers, and it's their second highest rated show. Wow. It did fantastic.
I just hate to give it any credit.
It built its audience. That's the thing. These shows, you can't judge them based on their premiere because what you're investing is are these women's lives.
But the characters are what you can invest in, and these were kind of dull and immature. Those two women, I don't know how you remember.
But they have a lot of money and they're gorgeous, and so there's something.
There's
it's like
the Redmond family. I remember the Redmond
get below
family.
the
They were
surface.
so.
That's the thing. This show is about getting below that
Mm-hmm.
surface level and seeing what's really going on in these women's lives.
Well, I feel like the whole charity world aspect to it is not going to get us there.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, the reason
Well,
I
that's
didn't like
because of the
Potomac
rebrand.
was because they kept talking about etiquette, and I was like, okay, I get
But
it.
then it changed to being about colorism and about race, and it got to something that cuts way deeper and made the show more interesting.
Well, so they brought like a political debate to the table, but in Dallas, you've got one woman who's like, this is my only paycheck. You've got two women that are so stupid and immature that it's embarrassing to think that they have children that probably have higher IQs than they do. And I don't know, I watched it at work in like my office, and because we have a DVR, and I just tuned out, and I just don't see myself recording the series. With Potomac, I could do a good 2-3 episodes. I knew I wasn't going to watch that. But we don't need more Housewives.
No,
we don't.
9 is enough.
No, we really don't.
Is there 9?
I'm a bit capped out right now.
I agree.
I'm
It's
like,
necessary.
I need to take a step back.
Especially if all they're gonna do is shoot another show and then make it Housewives. These women didn't know they were doing Housewives until they went to do the opening titles in front of the green screen. So it's like
that's juicy.
It's like if we're just gonna do that, then it's just slapping a title on a show.
They changed it very last minute. They had their
Yeah.
cast, they had their crew, and then finally they were like, "Fuck it, let's make it a housewife."
Yeah, that's what I'm not on board with when it comes to this. It's annoying. It's just I mean, I want to see now everyone's equipped to know what makes good housewives. If they're going to do another Housewives city, do it with the intention of producing Real Housewives so we can see at this point how far we've come and
Because fans
what
can
to
smell
cast
bullshit
for.
too. Like if it feels forced, if it feels like maybe you should have taken another 3 to 6 months to flesh this out, then film, then give us a good stellar cast with like a good plot line. I mean, I'm sure that they released this knowing that, I mean, there's got to be some explosive stuff that happens that we aren't prepared for, but
Well, the thing, they've been casting Dallas for a long time. They've had some of these women actually were like in the original cast of when it was supposed to be Housewives, like, on the short list, but they never made it work. So they finally, I guess, just pushed the issue and just made this Lays of Dallas Real Housewives. And I love the Housewives, but it's so tiring. I'm so tired of them all.
it's the Housewives channel, which I really don't want it to be.
Yeah, I
agree.
Let's take a look at some topics in our little rapid fire game here. Where we're going to pull some little topics that we noticed that we want to get into and share our rants and opinions real quick. So let's go around. Christy, I'll have you pick the first topic
Ooh, this
here.
is so exciting.
What will it be?
Do I read it right away?
Yes.
Oh, this is good. Amy Schumer talks plus size glamour beef.
Yes.
On Fallon.
Yes. So she was in the magazine in an area where, first of all, the magazine was like edited, or it was like a special edition with like Lane Bryant. So they had a special segment which was like women that inspire us. And there was Adele, and there was Melissa McCarthy, and then Amy Schumer was there.
And this is the plus size issue? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, or something tied in with like a Lane Bryant sponsor. So it was like women who are overweight, I guess, is what they're saying.
Yeah, it was
They
like
were
celebrating
applying.
women of all sizes.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. And so they had her in there, and because Glamour magazine, Amy says she fluctuates between being a size 6 and a size 8.
Which, by the way, the national average is a 10 to 12.
I was just gonna say that.
So-
Yeah.
So Glamour magazine needs to get a better fact checker.
I agree with Amy. She's upset about it. She was like, I don't think that's
How dare
fair. And
they?
she also said we just shouldn't have labels like this anymore. And
Yeah.
I agree with her. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, it's lousy.
Well,
It's
and for
lousy,
something
but-
that wasn't meant to inspire people or to like make everyone feel good about their bodies, I can
can't
only
believe they
imagine
wouldn't
that
even reach
probably
out to
had
her
the
first.
exact opposite. That was part of her biggest part of her beef too, was she said that they didn't even let me know that they were going to put me on the cover of Plus Size.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's disrespectful.
I agree.
Yeah, it's ignorant, but it gets Glamour a lot of press, so maybe they know what they're doing. Amy's the hot ticket
Shady.
still, so who knows?
Next is Brooke Mueller says Charlie Sheen owes $89K in child support. I'm kind
That's
of
what happens.
I'm kind of indifferent. I think people are exploiting Charlie Sheen for like the situation he's in right now, as they should. I think he's a scoundrel, and he deserves a lot of what's coming to him. But I don't really get invested in like the legal battles of these people because, frankly, I don't understand the red line agreements. I don't understand the appeals, all of that stuff. All I know is I hope that if he does owe money, he pays it. Mm-hmm. And I hope that things will turn a corner for Charlie Sheen. Hope he gets well soon.
Well, it's not an uncommon situation, these stars that make such an astronomical amount of money. Of course, in a divorce settlement, his wife is going to get $55,000 a month in child support.
But he's only making $89,000 a month now. No, isn't it like he's making $89,000? I think I read somewhere that he was making something around that, where he used to make like $150 a month.
600.
Yeah, it's adjusted. It should be adjusted.
Yeah. So in the legal system, that's the way it's set up, and you've got guys like a lot of your rappers and other actors and stuff too. They run into this when you stop pulling in that much money, or you have to pay off a bunch of people to keep quiet. You can't pay $55,000 a month anymore.
Yeah. Well, Christy, I want to know do you feel bad for Brooke in this situation?
I think Brooke has a whole slew of her own issues. Mm-hmm. I feel very, very bad for the children.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who they can look to as being stable in their life. I know her parents are very involved. But do I feel bad for her? No. She's a hot mess. She'll always be a hot mess.
I know you don't.
But she's a rich hot mess, so...
Yep. Yeah, I mean, she's upset because she only received $21,000 for the month of March and April for the child support.
Let me tell you. My mother and my father are divorced, and my mom did not get $21,000 a month. And we live outside of Manhattan. So do I think that Brooke maybe shouldn't live or try to live in the Hollywood Hills? I think that maybe she should try to live in Sherman Oaks if she's not getting the money she wants. She can live, there's more realistic ways to live than the life that she's accustomed to, and I don't know. It's just interesting timing. So I don't feel bad for her either.
No,
I feel bad for the
kids. Used to it now, yeah.
I mean, again, I do feel bad for the kids because if one of those parents are in the news one month and the other one's in the news the following month, and it's never for really anything positive.
No.
Is he still hating her?
He has such a volatile relationship with both her and Denise, and has just said such awful things about them, and apparently is very threatening. He has threatened physical abuse, and there's been physical violence in his relationship, especially with Denise. Yeah.
See, I feel bad. I wish you didn't pull that one because I so don't give anything about Charlie. He's just like, he's a crazy person.
He really is.
He's a crazy person.
He's like legit psycho.
Yeah, those kids. I hope that they have some therapy help. I really do from now.
They'll be on Dr. Jen.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, another child who could come up badly. Let's talk about this. I just pulled this topic. The headline reads, "Now Bette Midler mocks Rob Kardashian and Kylie Jenner." An article on the Daily Mail has Bette Midler back in the crosshairs of the Kardashians. And of course, I'm Team Bette because I hate those Kardashians.
All right.
You know what? I don't hate the Kardashians. I do love Bette Midler. And Bette Midler is just saying what everybody else is thinking. Like, who cares? The Kardashians, they need to, get used to it. People are going to talk because it's a weird situation.
They don't care that Bette is talking. People are caring that Bette is saying something again. Find something else to talk about. I don't know, score a pilot. Do something.
You're Bette Midler. What do you care about the Kardashians? How does she even know who they are?
How does she know how to tweet?
Right? That too.
I like it because someone on a large scale is throwing shit.
Oh, you think that Bette is on a large scale? I think she's
Yeah.
a C celebrity at this point at best.
Oh my god, that's discrediting everything she's done.
That is fighting words here in West Hollywood.
This is cruel.
So shady.
Team Kardashian till I die.
So her tweet said, "Rob Kardashian's engaged to the mother of the child of Kylie Jenner's boyfriend, ? They'll share a stepchild, ? Someone send me a chart." And I like it.
I like it.
It's true. No, send me a chart because I don't understand it either.
Yeah,
exactly.
I had to break it down.
I don't think what she said is that bad.
Yeah, but you know that. Okay, what time did she tweet that? Let's say it was 7:30 at night. So that means she got up that morning and knew, I'm gonna tweet about the Kardashians today. And that was her whole day, and she knew
How do you know that?
What do you mean?
How do you know that?
Because every single tweet is planned, and you don't think that she said what word should I use, what symbols can I use? Does it fall within the character limit? You know she and her team thought about that.
I did question it, but I wonder if someone of her age is she really thinking about that strategy with social media? I don't know. Basically, Kylie is with Tyga, and Tyga has a 3-year-old son with Black China. So the kid is 3. Kylie started dating Tyga probably only a little bit older than King Kylie.
Okay, well, also let's just think, though, that Rob and Kylie are not blood related. They are step siblings. Okay,
they're half siblings.
You're right. You're right.
Okay, they share the same mom. Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't get that right, and it has to do with the Kardashians. I should just go kill myself.
So,
worst
break out the pitchforks
ever. Yeah,
but that would require Kylie and Tyga to get married, and that would require Rob and Blac Chyna to really go through with this marriage.
Not
so
happening.
I don't see any of those stars aligning.
No, and people just don't care about the Kardashians anymore. Their ratings have plummeted. I mean, their ratings are crap now. I can't wait to see
I think you're
how
wrong.
this season does.
I think people in general are not watching television as much, but the Kardashians are on Netflix and they stream thousands of times a day, if not millions. Arguably their apps that they download have been of the most successful that have ever come out on the App Store. So yes, they're not getting as much like viewership, especially on like live television. But name a show that is. No show is getting like Little Big Shots got 13 million viewers, and the world freaked out. Like no one is getting that. Grey's Anatomy isn't getting that. So the Kardashians, the fact that people are still talking about them, especially people like Bette Midler, the fact that this is what Bette Midler is capitalizing on to stay relevant. I don't think we need all those viewers anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of true. If she's using them to stay relevant, then they have something to hoist herself up on, I guess, you know?
They do. I mean, Cocktails with Chloe got canceled, but it's like just a chink. It's a little tiny like chink in her armor. She's fine.
Yeah, how many times have I gone after something and it didn't work out? The girl did sensationally well at first. She got to look cute on television, got to talk about some shit. She got to hang out with friends.
25 episodes.
She got paid for it, and now she's like,
paid,
and if it didn't work, it didn't work. That happens in all of our lives. So yeah, I just think I love them.
I definitely don't. You know
Do you have a lip kit, Jessica? I have a Kylie
First of all,
lip
I'm
kit?
poor, so no. Second of all, I think I would not get to the website quick enough. It would sell out.
It's sold out.
I've heard good things about it though.
It looks like a good product.
People say
I cannot promote any more of this Kardashian on my show. I'm done.
You're done?
I'm done. No lip kits here, kids. Do not come to the show thinking you're gonna get a lip kit.
I feel like that brown shade would look fabulous.
Dolce K?
Yes.
No, I don't think that's it. I think it's Dolce, Candy K. I can't even keep up.
You're listening to Grant's Rants. Please rate, subscribe, and share on iTunes and social media. Spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Follow us on Twitter at @Grants__rants. And now, back to the show with the panel.
All right, let's focus and look at the shows that we want to talk about that we are loving and what we are falling out of love with. So we're going to have a little roundtable discussion on the television landscape and what's kind of been catching our attention. Of course, we talk a lot of TV on the show, so let's get the opinions of those around the table. What are we watching / loving right now? Christy, what are you thinking?
Quantico. I am
still holding on to that show.
I am. It's so good. And it just keeps getting better. Sometimes shows like that have such an involved storyline and that it almost becomes like a movie, and I hate that because I don't have patience to like sit and watch something for 3 hours. But this one has kept my attention and it's stayed fresh and it's good. I think any show, How to Get Away with Murder and Scandal kind of started this, any show where you're like finding out what happened first and then they're going back and showing you the little tidbits, like that keeps me interested. You know what I mean?
It's not linear. Yeah.
I love that. I love Beyond the Tank.
Oh my God, it's so funny because that's one of the shows I'm so done with.
Oh, really?
Tell me why.
Oh, I just like to see the journey after the deal, the decisions that they're making and how it affects the business.
To me, that show is produced very hokey, though. It just gets under my skin.
It's such a spin.
I will give you that. It is a little cheesy.
It's a little cheesy. Hey guys, what are you doing? And they'll have to give each other hugs.
How could it be you're in Houston? Me too.
We're celebrating our success. We just sold $85 million worth of cups. It's just like, all right, okay. But I mean, it's a cute idea. But that's actually the segment I like the most on Shark Tank proper is when they show what they're doing. But it's too cheesy for me to get into. Interesting.
Oh yeah. So there's that. Scandal is really really good. That one has like fallen off in the past to me, but it's great right
also
now.
losing viewership, might I add.
Is it? Oh.
I have a hunch next season will be its last.
No way.
I don't
You're
know.
wrong.
I don't know. I think that Shonda will send it out on top.
Especially after what's happened with Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, but Grey's is still going strong. And they're gonna. Oh, you mean like how they're gonna keep it on the air forever?
Well, yeah.
They are. They're gonna keep it on for 20 seasons.
Like it'll be like a daytime.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll switch to days of our
When
lives.
Grey's Anatomy is no longer a primetime soap, it'll be a daytime soap.
Right.
Right.
But Scandal is gonna go out
So you
on
like
top.
Shonda? You're a Shonda girl.
I've become one. Yeah. With
And
How to Get Away with
ABC
Murder.
apparently.
Yeah. I know. My husband and I were saying that the other day. I was like, we used to watch nothing on ABC, and now almost all the scripted shows we watch are all from ABC.
Yep.
And little E in there as well. I have to get my Total Divas in.
Yeah.
That's my jammy jam. That's my fave. And it's been a pretty good season.
Good. What are you loving / enjoying watching?
Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, they just ended. I'm still in the midst of the newest season of House of Cards, but I'm enjoying it. I'm still one of these few, I guess, who are watching it. I'm looking forward to watching the new reality shows, both Strong and American Grit, which are on NBC and Fox, respectively. They're both physical competition shows, and John Cena fronts one, Sylvester Stallone is an executive producer on the other. But they're different takes on physical competition, and they look like big shows for summer, and I'm just curious to check them out and watch them.
Did you see the first episode of American
I
Grit?
watched a bit of the premiere of Strong. And it was just a bit of the competition, so I didn't know who any of the characters were, what was going on.
See, I like old school reality, so I could probably get into that.
Yeah, and American Grit looks beautiful to me. It's in the Pacific Northwest, which I feel like we don't see as much of on broadcast.
We have a friend that filmed there, and I followed the production on like Snapchat, and it was gorgeous. I mean, she complained because it was gross ass Washington, but like it looks beautiful and so nice to get out of LA, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, and the show is unique. There's unique elements to it. It's not just like every other reality competition show, but they've also tried to do that with the production. And the very first episode almost seems messy. Like they're just kind of giving you a sneak peek, and there's like interviews with the executive producer and John Cena sitting down. It's more like a behind the scenes thing. Just the way that they've set it up for this first episode is really interesting. So you guys gotta check it out.
I think American Grit ended up playing better than Strong did.
Interesting.
That's at least what I've heard.
All of my bosses at the production company that I work at, we were reviewing international formats, and we were talking about this show in particular. All of the younger people, my colleagues that I work with, we all were like, we're so into American Grit, we like want to watch it, and they were all like, we think it's going to do horribly, like there's not going to be much below the surface. So it was just very interesting. There was a very clear divide between like the executives and like people who are more of like my level, or even the managerial level though, but there was just a very clear divide. It was interesting.
All right, Jessica, what's can't miss?
So I watched States of Undress on Vice. I've been devouring, or Viceland, I should say. I've been devouring Viceland because it's it's very investigative. It feels a lot more like journalism, CNN type programming than you would think. So I liked that it was just about like fashion around the world, and it goes beyond just like what fabric is this, who are you wearing. It's like they went to Pakistan and talked about Fashion Week and how that conflicts with like Sharia law, and so it's a really well done piece on fashion. I also, speaking of fashion, watched the Fashion Fund on Amazon. They're beefing up their unscripted content, and it was gorgeous. I don't know what cameras they used, what lights they used, but everything was crisp and clean, and the fact that they had such big names like Anna Wintour attached, it was a really interesting way to sort of let the outside world into the world of fashion. Felt very Devil Wears Prada. So I would highly recommend Fashion Fund on Amazon.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
And very cool. If you watch it like on your TV, like through your Roku or whatever, you don't get to see it. But if you watch on your like phone or iPad, if you click throughout the episode, you can literally. They have profiles pop up like, this is Anna Wintour. What products is she selling on Amazon? So that's why Amazon is
amazing.
So I would, if you care about this industry, if you like to shop, it's a good show for you.
Because you're at the multimedia platform.
That was a good recommendation,
That's
Jessica.
the future. Thank you.
Shows that I'm loving and that I just really enjoy watching are pretty much main linear television still, like the old person in the room. But for me, I love watching Empire. I don't know if you're looking at that anymore, but I'm so into that show and I look forward to it, even though I'm a week behind. But to me, I love like soapy stuff. So to me, that is something that I just absolutely love to put on. Another thing I've really enjoyed is Better Call Saul. I don't know if you look at that show.
I love the way you just said that. Can you say it again?
Better Call Saul.
So Boston. You sound so Boston. Better Call Saul.
I like that show. It's a totally different pace from anything I've seen that's scripted, and I think it's well put together, and it's like multiple storylines, which I enjoy. I have a hard time with like with Shonda shows. I feel like not all of them, but like with something like Quantico, I feel like it's kind of like one thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I like to go off in different directions and see things kind of come together, an umbrella story, and see things roll out. And that's probably why I like the Housewives so much, because on a good season, there's more than one storyline.
True dat. True dat.
All right, so let's talk about what are we falling out with. Let's leaving our TVRs and schedules. Christy?
I really tried to watch that show, The Grinder. And I couldn't do more than a few episodes, so it's still. I just deleted the rest of them off my DVR because I'm like, I'm not doing it. What else? Gosh, I was not incredibly impressed with this season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but I'm gonna keep watching it. I'm kind of a diehard fan of all my shows where I feel like even if a show is not good anymore, I will continue to watch it. Why do I do that?
In the background,
right? Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know that there's anything that I'm really that disenchanted with.
I usually finish them out till the end, too. I usually, if I'm in this deep, I'm like, well, unless if it's really, like, off the rails, then it's an easy thing. I find myself just not watching it, and then I'm like 4, 6, 8 weeks behind, and I'm like, all right, the end of that.
Yup.
There was my life. I just wasted it watching this shit.
I mean, that happens to me sometimes, and other times, like, I'll not rediscover, but I'll reinvest. Like, there have been periods where I stopped watching Grey's Anatomy for like a season or two, and then I got back into it. So
it's hard for me to do.
It happens
hard for me to come back.
And I feel the same way. Like, I might be a little bit disenchanted with Beverly Hills Housewives right now, but come the next season premiere, I'm gonna be like so excited.
And Bravo is aware that they had one storyline. Next season will be better.
Yeah. And as far as some other shows, I don't know. I feel the same way as you, Christy. Like, I don't really think that there's anything I'm super disenchanted with. If I don't really like a show from the jump, or I just feel like it's not something I want to invest in, then I don't.
Yeah. There's too much to watch. I am,
however, making all of the time for next Saturday at 9 p.m. on HBO for Beyonce's Lemonade. I don't know what exactly it is. Nobody knows, but it's something big. Everybody pay for HBO and watch that.
True. Well, I know that everyone loves Vanderpump Rules. I think it's funny that someone at New York Times felt the need to write an article about how much they loved it and how much it meant to them and how it represents like the 20, 30-year-old struggle. But for me, I've watched for the whole entirety of the show, and it is so boring. Like, it's so repetitive. It's like watching stupid people. Like, I love they're never going to listen. I don't know why I'm trying to be
They're never going to listen to the show, no.
I just think that, like, they have chilled down. Like, I miss, like, the slapping. I mean, that's terrible and, like, so embarrassing.
Well, that's what we expect from Vanderpump Rules.
You need a little bit of a ratchet factor
just, like,
to stay involved.
Sheena is pretending her marriage is working. Katie is gaining weight and not talking about it. Tom is marrying her because he's trapped. Jax and Brittany have the weirdest relationship ever. That's doomed to fail. Kristen is medicated and she's not ratchet anymore. Stassi is not Stassi Schroeder. She has no integrity. I don't know. She wanted to come back on the show, so she went on that apology tour, and it felt fake and stupid. And Lisa Vanderpump, I don't care about anymore because she's shown her true colors on Housewives, and there's just really nothing for me to stay tuned for anymore. And like, I've seen some of these people out and about at clubs, and like, they're so they don't bring anything exciting. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that show maybe has hit its peak.
Would a cast revamp excite you? Like they kind of tried to bring in some young new kids this season, and those ones didn't work out. But if they did that, it worked.
I've literally rubbed shoulders with some of the people, and they're nice people. They're good people. But like, are they going to carry a show to have 3 million viewers on a Thursday night on Bravo live? Probably not, and that's okay. Like I certainly couldn't. But I just think like they had great characters 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But now some of them are in therapy. Now some of them are getting married. They're settling down. They're also still waiters and waitresses. Like, it's just a little bit... It's for me, it's just done.
It's played out.
But that said, in 2 seasons, in a season or whatever, like, when Katie and Tom walk down the aisle, when Ariana and Tom finally get engaged, like, I probably will tune back in. I will watch the reunions. I will watch what happens. But to watch every single week... or to try to catch up on the show, you couldn't pay me. So.
Well, the shows that I'm falling out of love with are a little different. They're actually scripted shows. I was never in love with it, but I was very tempted to watch Fox's Lucifer. I thought it was marketed really well.
Said no one ever.
And I wanted to watch. Yeah, it was well marketed, and I watched it, and I was like, no. It was one of those I couldn't even watch the whole thing to judge. I'm like that, though, with TV. Like, sometimes I won't even get through the first 10 minutes and I know it's just not for me.
Yeah.
But this one I tried, like I put it on the background. I was like, just see if you keep looking over your shoulder. And I was like, no. You know, like it's like Hulu, the next show came on and I was like, I didn't even know what it ended. That's when I knew it was like, no, not for me. Another show that to me, I'm so tired of looking at is Modern Family. I feel like the jokes on that show have kind of... It's like a recycling of jokes. That kid who plays Luke can't act his way out of a paper bag. It's just... It's hard. It's hard for me to get through those shows. Sometimes they're good and sometimes they're awful. When they want to submit an episode to the Golden Globes, then it's a good episode. And it's kind of like SNL for me. Mm-hmm. It's like when Justin Timberlake comes out and they want to submit an episode for the Emmys, they'll like write for a few weeks out. But then if it's like a skateboarder... that comes on that has like a following and they do it, then it's like literally like reruns of old things they've already done, old digital shorts, and like lousy live sketches.
Well, listen,
or Man on the Street. I don't watch SNL for Man on the Street.
It's a job for those writers, just like it's our job for whatever it is that we're doing in our lives.
Yeah, I agree.
So they're not going to be on their A game every day.
I think that SNL is definitely in a lull. I watch it every Sunday when I have my brunch, if I'm at home. And I watch it because it's like currency in this business. You have to talk about the spots on SNL. But yeah, I do the over the shoulder thing. Like I enjoy some of the skits, but like Peter Dinklage was on last week and I couldn't have given less of a
So. Yeah.
So
yeah,
call you Erica Jane.
Oh my god, yeah, do it like her.
Nothing grips me on that show at all. Yeah, it's in a lull. It's in a lull, and they have every bit of oomph behind them with it being an election season to rebound. So if they're not doing anything
Leslie Jones is spectacular. Colin Jost, so yummy.
Ew, I hate him.
Well,
I hate Colin Jost. He
different strokes for different folks, okay, Grant? He is so cute. He's cute.
He's just a lousy comedian. He just is a wet blanket on television. And he gave himself that position. I don't think he should be having it.
Really? Oh, I like it. Isn't it funny? I always think it's so interesting how we could go around, like, even now we're talking about things that really, like, I would never watch Scandal because for me it's like, I can't get over that with the camera. I'm like, done. No. And you have watched for how many seasons? So it's so interesting how I can have a completely different POV than you. So it's great that television can get us.
There's TV for everybody.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you, cable.
Don't cut the cord. Don't do it.
Rolling Stone put out an article talking about the decline in viewership and overall interest in American Idol and the rise of...
Rest in peace.
Yes. The rise of the celebrity judges really kind of swallowing the show whole and taking it away from it being more like a talent show. Like, in the article, I believe they mentioned it looking like a step above public access, which is a step above The View. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of true. It was a little kitschy in the beginning, and then it got really, when they had Ellen come on, she was a super fan, and then it all went left when Mariah Carey and Nicki Minaj were on the show. By that point, I was so done. It didn't make a difference who was judging. I love Britney Spears. I didn't watch a frame of her judging on that show.
On X Factor?
X Factor. See what I mean? I didn't even know.
Well, you know, it's a nice segue though, because I am the biggest Jennifer Lopez fan, like, on this planet. And I don't watch American Idol. I don't, and I really feel like I was like, oh, I really want to watch that finale. Like, I really should. Even the day after it aired, I'm like, oh, I should really get around to watching that. I still haven't watched it. It's just, its currency has changed.
Everyone was talking about it. When I watched it, I was like, okay, it's explosive. Like, it was supposed to be like the finale, and the most exciting thing was that Simon Cowell showed up. Yeah. It was like it was so underwhelming, and the sad thing is it got like millions of views. Got like I think like 11 or 12 million viewers. Yeah, which is insane. I think that they will.
But in its heyday, it had almost 30 million.
Yeah, but nothing gets that anymore.
It's true.
The debates for next president at best get 14. 5. Well, 5 maybe on like CNN, but 14 on a major. It's just really like no one. That's the thing is, sadly, we can't say, like, even when I say, oh, it got this many viewerships, it doesn't even matter because people are copying and pasting links on their phones and they're emailing and like they're Snapchatting things like the way there's not just one way to view things anymore. So even when we say, oh, this is how many viewers like 30 million people.
Via that.
That like triggers. I want to have a full conversation about how inaccurate Nielsen can be, and just the way that we collect that data is just so.
It's archaic.
Even the fact that we have Twitter ratings is dumb because Twitter is dying. Like there's sadly they need to figure out a way to streamline viewership because there's just so many. Like they have Snapchat channels now dedicated to. Like they don't have TGIT, but they could do that. They should do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we're at a very interesting time.
We are.
Like I'm a little excited for us. I'm a little scared because we have to really adjust to
innovate. You have to innovate. Right?
Yeah. Well, with American Idol getting kicked to the curb. Mad TV is coming back to television on the CW, and I thought that show was long dead and buried. But I thought about it, and I said, you know what? This day and age with sharing digitally and just thinking of all the playback, anything on SNL, funny or not, I think it's actually really smart to have something like that because sketch comedy is big. It's big, like, you know, Comedy Central's had this great resurgence, and I think they're in a very good place.
TV Land, it's all comedy, doing sensational.
TBS, all comedy now.
So looking at something like the CW, which brought back Whose Line Is It Anyway, I think it kind of it fits in with the landscape.
Makes sense. Essentially, their skits used to be like a digital short, you know? So I think... Yeah, it's perfect for the way that we consume
Look at
content. I've seen him in Runyon.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that nostalgia is so huge right now.
Oh my god.
So it's a genius idea to bring it back. They should bring everything ever back.
I agree.
They should bring Dawson's Creek back. I never even watched it.
You know what's scary though?
Party of Five.
What's scary is when they do bring everything back and then that trend kind of runs out, then we're like,
well, then we'll be original again.
It's cyclical. It's basically the entire industry acknowledging that there are no more ideas left.
That's what I'm saying.
No, we're just going to redo all the shows we already did because there's
but then once the market is saturated with that, then there will be a new wave of original ideas.
Once these holding deals, like if, for example, a network has an idea in development and they've locked down the talent and the contract, they have a holding period. It could be 12 months. It could be 10 years. The rights could expire however long it takes. But, like, the Brady Bunch could literally come back because one day the rights expire and we won't know about it. Like, so it really, even though things have been done, like, there are so many different ways to tell Romeo and Juliet. The story is the same, but people always are looking for a new way to tell it or are willing to hear the old story again. So I think, yes, the only thing that's working right now or that people are buying right now are old ideas. But if the rights are expiring and it's legal and it's working, I'm in.
Bring back Sweet Valley High.
Yes, bring back Friday Night Lights.
Yes.
Gilmore Girls,
Gilmore Girls is coming back on Netflix.
And I work on the WB lot, so I need to get my ass to set. Like, just to see Stars Hollow. I'm just so lazy. I should do it, though.
TV cancellations have been announced for the most part. We kind of know what's coming back and what is not. So, what are we sad to see come to a close?
No, I shed a tear for Blood and Oil.
Really?
Yes, I thought I really liked it, and it was getting even better towards the end of the season. And then it went out in such a terrible way where it was supposed to be 14 episodes and they cut it to 12, so it was all very rushed at the end. And I just felt like if they could have played out that ending the way that they wanted to, maybe it could have been saved. I just had like a great cast.
I love the title.
So sexy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It had potential for being one of those shows that could be around for a lot of seasons.
It had potential, but the writer's room there were 2 different rooms, and it was all, the problem was on the page with that show, because everything else looked good, the cast was right, it had potential.
Sad.
Yeah.
See, I don't even, like, pilot season for me is crazy because all my friends are like, I can't go out, I have to watch the pilot. And I'm like, okay, but it's going to get canceled. And they all do. Mm-hmm. Like, the list of cancellations is, I can't even keep, it's like, what, Angel from Hell, why did they even try?
That really was a huge mistake. Why did that even get greenlit? The first run
didn't work, so they said, we're going to move it to the fall. And then that didn't, I mean, it's just...
I know.
The shows that I watched from this past season of premieres, this entire year, they're getting renewed. I watched Superstore, I liked it. I watched
Scream Queens.
I watched Telenovela. I liked
those
it.
obviously were going to do well.
Telenovela was fantastic.
Yeah.
If you have a diverse cast and your leading characters are not white. It's gonna probably work on ABC.
Also, it helps it's a really good show. That's the thing. It's not just about the cast. It's a good show.
Well, that's on NBC.
NBC, yeah. And
it's
both of them and Superstore.
But yeah, because they're just, like, on ABC, it's like that. They have the Blackish, they have the Asian show off the boat and all that. That show
Fresh Off the Boat is hilarious.
I have a hard time getting to that show. I have a hard time watching the show.
Because you can't relate, because you're not Asian.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's okay, though. That's fine. You have so many other shows you can go to.
But at the same time...
I watch Blackish because I'm like...
Not for you.
But at the same time, Modern Family is a little bit of a snippet of my life, and it doesn't resonate with me anymore either, so...
What's your favorite show on television?
Oh, God, that's really hard.
You have to pick one that, like...
An all-black show, Empire, okay?
And why does it speak to you?
Because it's entertaining.
Because you slept with Naomi Campbell.
It's like Cookie is my spirit animal.
What are you sad about?
I'm bummed for Cocktails with Chloe ending, just because... I mean, it's the wrong network. Like, when it went on FYI, I was like, this is not the right... Not that there is a right place, because it wouldn't have worked at E, but, like, she should have done it as a digital play. Like, I don't think it would have been dumb to be like,
yes.
ChloeKardashian.com, tune in and watch us do ridiculous shit. Mm-hmm. That would have been... their live streams, like, have thousands of viewers. Like, Ramona Singer's Snapchat has 2.3, like, K per... snap, like, on her story. Wow. That's her viewership, right? So, like, why shouldn't the Kardashians have millions? And they do. If it doesn't work on FYI, it's probably because it's the wrong network. If it had been a more modern millennial play, I think Chloe's show would have worked. But I'm sad that it ended.
Well, the show that I'm sad to see go, which had its final season, was Downton Abbey, and I love the show, and again, another soap opera type show, and it was something I really looked forward to watching, even though I was always behind on that show. All the shows that I love, I keep it canned. Mm-hmm. So it's like if I want to watch 2 in a row, I can. I like have that subconscious thing, and so I'm always behind on all my shows. So I never count towards any of the ratings. Not that I have the Nielsen bucks anyway, but even views, like I'm always like way behind on my shows. As the time I was taping this show, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt just came out. So I'm excited to be looking at that. I looked at one episode.
I watched like 6 hours yesterday.
I didn't have any time, but I looked at one and I enjoyed it thoroughly. But again, that's another show I know I will keep canned. Do you know I just finished Orange is the New Black last week from last June? That's how long I keep my shows going.
I am literally 2 seasons behind, and I'm not going to probably ever catch up.
Where can we find all of you guys to keep the conversation going, and is there anything you want to promote?
Oh, well, I would love it if everyone would follow me at Christy Reports on Instagram and Twitter. I'm trying with the Snapchat thing. I can't do it. And please also visit ChristyReports.com. There's always exclusive celebrity interviews, red carpets, all kinds of fun things on my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate if you'd subscribe at Christy Reports.
So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @TheJustinHeath and on Snapchat at JT_Heath. I have nothing to promote, but I encourage all of you to continue watching reality TV, consuming pop culture, and just living your life.
There you go. Live your best life.
Yep.
I am a grandma and like I'm not very active on social media, but I do occasionally Snapchat and I never tweet, but I do retweet like funny things that bitches like what is that site called?
Betches,
yeah.
They have a book out.
They do, and they were just behind the bar on Watch What Happens. But if you feel like following me, I go on hikes and take pictures of my dog. It's at JLips with 3 S's, and that's on Instagram. And yeah, everyone watch JoJo on Bachelorette May 24th because she's the best. That's all I'm going to promote.
Oh yeah. Well, you guys can know that you can always find bonus content, including bonus content from this episode, on our YouTube channel. All you have to do is search Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk. Quite easy. Stay tuned for more rants to come. Thanks, guys, for coming in and talking TV.
Thanks for having us. Yay.
This has been Grant's Rants. Follow us on Twitter at Grants__Rants. Cover art created by Howie Ronay. Voiceover by Sir Richard Wentworth. Original theme music composed by Alexander Arnson.